Alright guys, looks like we have 2 viewers. I'm waiting for everyone else. Just give me a second. Shsat is trying to log in, and we'll take it from there. For those of you who are here already, I'm looking at the logins right now. I think Lalone logged in. I think Verzana logged in, and I think those are the 2 viewers, if I'm not incorrect. Right? Oh, we have 3 viewers now. Wonderful. All right. For those of you who see this, hold on. Let me see. Okay, I see questions, right? All right. So Tenzin, K-Sharp, I'm guessing that's Mingmar, right? All right. We're gonna start when everyone's here. I'm still setting up the interface. Clearly you guys can see the ARCA book there. I've scanned the entire book, and we're gonna go over it. And that's that. Got it, guys? Let's see. Hello. I was right in my guess. Alright, so if you can see on the right hand side, I don't know how it looked for you guys, but I have set up a Q&A feature. Right now, for today's session, we're not really going to do live streams. I'm not really going to let you guys, like video chat kind of in a sense, because I'm not entirely sure if that will work out well, because then any of your background noise will be added onto the audio, and sometimes it doesn't work out well. So for today, we're not going to try that. Maybe tomorrow. Also keep in mind that I forgot to bring the charger for my pen tablet kind of thing. So I only have about 26% left. So we might end a little bit early today, actually, right? So keep that in mind. Lone, I see your question about the lot of ads and the virus. That's fine, but make sure you pay attention to the task at hand. Looks like I have 5 viewers now. I believe the class has 12 people, right? And then I see Mazet has just joined. Okay, so that's another person. Good job, guys. I'm guessing it's working out well, right? The interest isn't so terrible. I'm just making sure to check my email and that kind of thing to make sure that everyone is logged in and that everyone doesn't have any problems, as well as operating the chat feature just to make sure. I expect us to get started at about 11:10 to 11:15 whenever everyone else gets here. We have about 5 viewers. The class is about 12 people, so okay, right now I have just enabled the HD version. I believe my internet can support it, so keep that in mind. If you can watch it in HD, I believe it would be optimal. It would look the best. So just keep that in mind. If it's blurry at any point, please let me know. I believe it should be fairly sharp. I'm just gonna. We still have about 5 viewers. We're gonna take attendance at about 11:10. All right. Looking at the logins now. Let me see. A couple notifications. All right. Wonderful. I see Nizat has just logged in successfully. Tashir logged in this morning, or yesterday night actually. We'll see if he's able to come. And waiting for everyone else. Good job on using the question and answer feature, guys. Lalone, I see your comment. That's fine. Alright guys, I'm still waiting on everyone else. We still have about 5 viewers. So waiting on everyone else to make sure that works out well. How's the audio, guys? Is it too low, too high? You can use the question and answer feature to answer that, right? Want to make sure the audio is nice and clear. On my reading, it gives a pretty good status, but I'm not entirely sure how it sounds on your end. Alright guys, we still have, oh, now we have 6 viewers. That's a start. We have 6 viewers. I would estimate that to be about half of the class, right? That to be about half of the class. I'll get started in about 2 minutes regardless if we have more viewers or not. I understand it's new technology and it could be difficult for some people to log in and be able to click that name and then, access the live stream from there. So hopefully they email me and then we can iron out any of the kinks. If you have any other questions how this works out, it'd be best to ask them now. When we get started, it will get pretty busy. Keep in mind that I said this before, but my tablet only has about 26% left, and that's not much, but I think it will last us through the 4-hour session. So I hope that works. I've turned it on in energy saver mode, so I hope it works. I hope it lasts through the 4-hour session. If it doesn't, we'll end a little bit early, maybe 3 hours. Alright? So just keep that in mind. We can catch up tomorrow and the next day. That I have posted the Google live stream onto your account, so please don't, you can watch it on YouTube also, but I would suggest you watch it on the Google live stream so you can use the Q&A feature and any other options that are available only on the Google version. We'll start in about 45 seconds. Alright guys, is everyone ready to start? Is everyone ready to start? It's about 11:15 now. I think we're about running 15 minutes behind, so it is a good time to start. Alright, everyone should go open to the window. You can make this full screen. You can, make it as large as you can. I believe it will be best for you. I've enlarged it to the maximum size on my screen, and I believe that's the best way to do it. The scan is scanned at pretty high resolution, so you should be able to make out all of it. Keep in mind that I will probably, maybe, I'll think about it, post the PDF after, but it's definitely very important that you pay attention now instead of looking at the PDF later on, because, there is always an answer key for these books, but it's really the instruction that, that really helps, more so than the answer key. Keep in mind that there's a Q&A feature on Google Hangout, so you can use it and you should use it anytime you have questions. Tomorrow I might utilize some of you to use the audio only feature or the video and audio feature, but for today we're just going to keep that to a bare minimum. Keep in mind that I have scanned the entire book, so we are going to be going through it fairly quickly as I'm really only focused in on the 10 practice tests. Alright? Just for attendance, just so I know who's here, I'm fairly certain according to my login stats that Lalone is here, Mingmar is here, Shsat is here, and Farzana is here. If there's anyone else that is here that I did not mention right now, you should write your name in the Q&A section just so I can mark you down as present. So who I have down according to my login is Lalone, Mingmar, Shsat, and Farzana, and Mazed. If there's anyone else that is here, you should put your name down in the Q&A section just so I know that you're here and I can mark you down in terms of attendance. If not, mark absent. Alright, I'll give everyone a minute for that and then we'll get started. Alright guys, let's get started. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave the questions to the I'm gonna be able to see the questions as I do the thing. Keep in mind that I have let you guys see the entirety of the PDF page, right? So now I believe everyone is looking at the PDF page. I'm scrolling down a bit, right? And we're gonna go through the book. So you guys should open your books. Those of you who have older editions, keep in mind not to worry so much as I have, although I have scanned the newest edition being the one that has this cover, obviously scanned in black and white. Maybe I should have scanned in color, but most of the text is in black and white anyways, so that's why scanned in black and white. but keep in mind that this is how the book looks like, except it has more of a bluish tint to it, right? It was scanned in black and white, but just why it doesn't look like that now, right? So keep that in mind. Alright, so we're gonna go down to it. We're gonna go down. All of this it's unnecessary. I just scanned the entirety of it. Top 10 ways to raise your score. We'll talk about these tips later on when we're getting closer to the exam and we talk about exactly how to take the exam. As far as don't panic, change your mind, that kind of thing, everyone says that. Nothing too unique there, nothing, nothing special. Alright, so let's just keep going down. You guys can flip the pages as we go through it. I keep in mind that you guys should work on it with me. Usually how I want the sessions to go is that you have worked on it prior to the session and then we can go over it during the session. I understand that we were a little bit rushed for this session because of the timing and getting the books and receiving them on time, but as we prepare for the next book, which will be Kaplan, we should be a lot more prepared and we should be able to finish the book in its entirety before the online session, right? So let's keep that in mind. Alright, okay, so that's that. Let me just turn down the gain on something just for myself, right? Alright, so just so I can, listen to this. Okay. Alright, so keep that in mind, and that shouldn't be that bad. Alright? Alright, now, we're gonna go over the practice test mostly. I think all of this information is fairly standard. The summer discovery program, if you score close to the cutoff score in the HST, you can still make it if you attend pretty much summer school at that high school. Not too bad. I think it's a good deal. All of these tips you can read off on your own. I don't really like them so much. We can go over these questions over here, but I'm not too interested in going over the questions precisely because I don't really agree with the explanations. I think the explanations are too long-winded, and I think that it would take you a little too much time on the SHST to actually draw, like, all of that intricate stuff, right? So we're just going to go on to the questions, and then I guess that will give you a pretty good grasp of how to approach these type of problems, right? But also keep in mind that the ARCA book is the easiest book, right? As in the easiest, as in like the questions are the easiest in terms of the entirety of the math, well, all the math market preparation book for that suggestion, right? It is the easiest, and that's why we're starting with it. That's why I don't really mind if this online session is a little bit butchered because it allows us to get a good dry run for how these sessions work, and it also allows you to get familiar with the content of the SHSAT, right? Keep in mind that if you have any questions at any time, you should use the right-hand side Q&A feature. I believe we have 7 viewers now, which means someone has logged on late. Let me just triple check who was logged on. I'm not entirely sure who was logged on actually. Keep in mind that just for attendance, right, please write your name on the right-hand side in the Q&A. If you don't see the Q&A, I see a comment. Hold on, guys. Let me just answer this comment. Tefur has commented. Tefur has commented 11:20. Alright, so let me just get back to Tefur really quickly, guys. Let me just get back to Tefur. Just give me 1 second. He should be using the online chat feature, but he's not. For God knows what reason. Just replying to Tefur, guys. Just give me 1 second. Defer. So the link and hit the play button. Alright, post comment. Done. Oh, alright. I see some comments on the Google Stream. Naima says that she cannot use the chat feature. Well, can someone help Naima out? I believe when you hit the play button, Naima, it does open up on the right-hand side. Right, it does open up on the right-hand side. Oh, whoa, I see what you guys are saying. There are a lot of questions, but I'm not getting any of them. I see them. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just realized that I'm not getting all of the questions. Maybe because they're regarding spam or something. Let me triple check that. No, they're not in my spam box, but I'm not getting all the questions. I just looked at your accounts, and yes, I see Shafin has signed in. Hey Naeem, what would be better? Writing in the book or writing in a notebook and save the workbook for additional studying? I would say writing on another piece of paper would actually be better. Her name was just on the group thing, not this page, but before the live stream. The tests are graded, but he'll tell us after class. Naeem is here. He changed it. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, the tests are graded. I did finish grading the tests. I am gonna put up your scores after class. Naeem, in about 4 hours, my computer may restart for updates, so think my account will just show I'm logged out. Azad, that's not too much of a problem. Shafin is here. Shafin is here. Shafin is here. Okay, I understand. Naeem, by the way, nice bang on your keyboard technique. You should use the dual screen. You should use dual screen. Just say. All right, Naeem, my question. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Any other questions, guys? I know Naima is here. Naima, I hope you can use the chat the Q&A feature, but I don't know why I didn't get that. Right? I don't know why. I just finished up all the questions. Got it, guys? Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? I didn't realize that I didn't get the questions. Now I get the questions, right? Yeah, I get the questions now. Sorry, guys. It's just that my version, my broadcaster version didn't show the questions. I don't know for what reason, and my tablet battery is low. That's perfectly fine. 22% left. Okay, let's get to work. All right, I got Shafin and Naima here. All right, that's wonderful. Tasneem just logged in, I believe. Tasneem just logged in. Okay, wonderful. All right, let's get to work. Let me just double check the Google page that that we don't have any other comments. Where do you need to go to watch the video? Type 4. Guys, come on, you can have these problems. Just hit the start button. No, just hit the play button or something. What does the play button do? Oh, that's right. Oh, I see. Just hit the play button. Alright, someone help him out. I think he's lost. Whatever it is. It doesn't work for you, Type 4. I'm not entirely sure what the problem is. Oh, Type 4, Type 4, Type 4, Type 4. You might not be able to watch it this way. Well, you definitely will not get access to, you definitely will not get access to, the chat feature this way, but I can help you out, kind of. I can help you out. I'm gonna, so here's how I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna give you that link. That link will let you watch it on YouTube. Got it? That's all you need. Got it? See that link, guys? That's all you need. Got it? For those of you who can't watch it, I really have to start going. I really have to start doing it now. But there it is, guys. That's all you need. All right, cool. We're good. That link should be all you need. You can watch on the YouTube site. Not a problem. All right, now that we're all done with all of that, wonderful. I see the questions. Guys, the screen is very blurry. Can you fix it? The screen should not be blurry, actually. You can watch it in full 1080p. There should be an option to do it. Oh, I see. You're getting it in 360p, right? Do you guys get it in 360p? Those of you who can't watch it on the live stream for some weird reason, you can watch on the YouTube site, and I'll just look for the. Well, you can comment on the Google Events page, or you can comment on the YouTube page, and I'll just stay tuned to both of those, and I'll reply there. All right. So, I guess after setting all that up, you can do that. Got it? So you can compare on the YouTube page, and you can compare on that page. It's perfectly fine. All right. That's cool. The quality should not be bad. I'm not sure about the quality complaints. The quality should be full 1080 or 720p or something of that sort. That's what I see on my screen. I'm not entirely sure if you guys are getting that though. All right, let's get to work though. You guys can help each other out. That's perfectly fine. On the other end, but this should be working out fairly well. All right, guys, we're good to go. Everyone good to go? Yeah, but only to 720p. Yes, that's fine. Only to 720p. That's perfectly fine. 1080p might come later. I don't know if this Google Hangouts has support for it. Let's just get to work, guys. Come on. All right. All right. Over here, we have a scrambled paragraph. Right now, scrambled paragraphs. A lot of you did fairly terribly at actually on the essay on the diagnostic. Right. I'd say the average person got about 2 of 5 right, which is not so great. I get that. Yeah, if you get a little bit wrong, just taking a sip of water. But if you get a little bit wrong, I feel like mess up the order of a sentence or something of that nature, then you stand to lose all the points. I understand that, some of you did, run into that problem. But at the same time, you should be expected to, be able to work through it, right? You have done tons of these, and I expect you guys to be able to do very well on this, right? I'm just, refreshing for comments, make sure that I didn't get any comments or whatever, make sure no one has any questions. Okay. Now, let's do the scrambled paragraph. Well, there's a couple things we look at when we do scrambled paragraphs, right? The first thing we look at is what is the scrambled paragraph type, right? Like what type is it? And then we can use like a general trend to help us guide us through, right? Then there's also specific techniques to each scrambled paragraph, right? For example, looking at how, like the like when you have two sentences, right? You have a sentence here and you have a sentence here. The last part of the previous sentence connects to the first part of the next sentence, right? So there are a lot of techniques, and we just have to be able to use them and utilize them very efficiently, right? That's always a good thing to do. Now, let's look through what we have to do, right? So over here, we have in media stories about Timothy McVeigh, the convicted and finally executed Oklahoma City bomber. It has been reported that he had not only read but also sold copies of the book called The Turner Diaries. Wonderful, right? Now, that's interesting. It introduces Timothy McVeigh, and that's always a good approach to go from. Now, let's look through answers to see what it says, right? The book was written in 1978 by Dr. William Pierce, head of a neo-Nazi group. Now, that makes a lot of sense, right? Why would Q be after the topic sentence? Because, well, it says the book, and the book, we know that the is a definite article, right? And what is a definite article? That means that it refers to something that was mentioned before in some context. It refers to something specifically, as in the book, not a book. So the book. So what is the book? What is it referring to? Well, it's referring to the Turner Diaries, right? So that's why the Turner Diaries is the book. So the book was written in 1978 by Dr. William Pierce, head of a neo-Nazi group called the National Alliance, right? Alliance. We're gonna keep that for now. Now, you should always look at your other answers before you continue, right? While the Turner Diaries is so mostly at gun shows, Dr. Pierce. Okay, you see how it says Dr. Pierce here? So it kind of references Dr. Pierce. So we're not entirely sure if, first of all, it definitely cannot be second or the first sentence in the paragraph, because why? You must introduce Dr. William Pierce before you can refer to him as Dr. Pierce. That's why R is not it. How about S? In it, Pierce. Well, guess what? Pierce is referring to Dr. William Pierce. And again, you have to introduce Dr. William Pierce before you can refer to him as Pierce, right? How about T? That war. What war? By now there are hundreds of thousands of these. Whoa, of these dangerous books in circulation, helping to turn malcontents into terrorists. Whoa. This doesn't sound like a topic sentence. It doesn't sound like a first sentence, definitely, because it's by now. But what does it sound like? It sounds like a legacy sentence, right? So by now sounds like a legacy sentence. So let's use that as a legacy sentence, right? So automatically, I'm gonna kind of think that this is fifth, and I'm gonna think that this is first. Cool. I already have my first and fifth. So now I'm gonna look to my answers for my second. Head of a neo-Nazi group called the National Alliance. So while the Turner is still mostly gun shows, Dr. Pierce. Okay. Well, this kind of says, while where it's so that could be after Q, but let's see S. In it, Pierce tells of a fictional. Oh, whoa. In it is what? The book, right? And this elaborates on what Q says. This goes further into detail on what Q says. Pierce tells of a fictional race war in America won, of course, by white supremacists like himself, right? So S goes into more detail on what Q is talking about, right? So that's why S must be second, right? And after S, let's see, it says what? Tells of a fictional race war, and it introduces it with a That means that it's the first time it's being mentioned, and it's introducing a fictional race war. Whoa. Hold on, I see a couple comments, actually. Yeah, whoa, right? So where else do we see a fictional race war? We see that war, right? That war. And that war starts out with the destruction of a federal building. So that war refers to the fictional race war. Everyone sees that? So fictional race war, that's going to be 3. Everyone got that? After T, what are we left with? Well, we're left with by now there are, okay, well, that can't be it. Well, R. Why is R before U? Well, it says this is sold mostly at gun shows, so starting to be sold at gun shows. And this says there are hundreds of thousands in circulation. So after they start selling in gun shows, obviously later on you're going to get hundreds of thousands in circulation. So that's why the correct answer is Q, S, T, R, U. Everyone sees that? Go from sentence to sentence and understand the trends. I'm just going to take a quick peek at any of the comments to make sure that we're good to go. Guys, just use the link just use the YouTube link if you can't say anything. I honestly think that's the best way to go about it. I'm looking at the comments just to make sure I don't get any. If we get any comments, I'll be looking at them. Mazet, there is not a limit to people chatting. I know you asked that question a long time ago. You was last sentence, yeah. Yeah, you was last sentence. I should use dual screen. I don't know what dual screen is. Oh yeah, R like Debris says. Okay, wonderful. Love these comments. Okay, let's continue. My tablet battery is dwindling. Don't worry, it's at 23%, so it should last. It was at 26% like 38 minutes ago, so that's perfectly fine. Number 2, the human male, hearing for the first time about the heart-rending love life of the male praying mantis, would wonder that the species continues. Interesting. Well, okay. Well, now let's see what this sentence says. So it says the human male, hearing for the first time about the heart-rending love life of the male mantis, would wonder that the species continues. Okay. Well, this is kind of talking about the human male and how they view the praying mantis. I think based on looking at the all the other sentences, it's really about the praying mantis, right? And I'm guessing the praying mantis has a weird love life. Wonderful. Now, let's take a look at answers. The anxiety. What anxiety? First of all, it says the anxiety, so it must have mentioned anxiety before, but I don't see any anxiety in the topic sentence. Definitely can't be it. How about R? In response, the female. Whoa, what female? In response to what? R can't be it. Moving on. S, though now dead. Whoa, 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 what's dead? S can't be it. T, the release of a sperm. Who's sperm? The male praying mantis? We're just talking about human male and how, it's changed for the first time. Obviously, his could refer to the male praying mantis, but whoa, I don't understand how this plays. It's like part of a process, the male process. U, but in the insect world, romance is not an issue. The drive to reproduce is so the male praying mantis mounts to the much larger female despite his anxiety. Wonderful. But in the insect world, that's first. Here we're talking about the human perspective, and now we're bringing it to the insect world. Wonderful. Well, after you, guess what I saw? Guess what I saw in you? I said, despite his anxiety, it introduces anxiety over here. So what should I do after that? Well, I should look at Q and it says, the anxiety. What anxiety am I referencing? I'm referencing despite his anxiety, right? So that's number 2. After Q, we can have R, right? Why is R after Q? Well, take a look. The anxiety comes from an instinctual awareness that he is likely to quite literally lose his head during mating. This stretch seems to slow the process for up to several hours, right? In response, the female who is locked beneath him turns her head, and if she can manage to, bites his head off. Right? So that's why R after Q, because here it says he's trying to slow the process because he's going to lose his head, and R says, yeah, eventually the female bites his head off. After R, we have S, though now dead. Why is though now dead after R? The female bit his head off. Obviously he's dead. And after that, he remains locked in mating position, and of course the anxiety is ended. He's dead. The release of his sperm speeds up after his demise. After his demise. What is demise referencing here? His death. He's now dead and S. So what makes sense after his death? Well, T. 5. So what's your answer? U, Q, R, S, T. It would be better to post on the Q&A. I see. So you're saying I should use a second screen, one for Q&A and one for that. Whoa, that's actually pretty smart. I'll do that next time. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll set that up tomorrow. I think I can do that. I think I could definitely do that. I have like 3 screens. Wonderful. All right. Thanks for the suggestions. I know I'm answering everything late. I'm going to try to make an effort this time to actually answer everything on time. All right. Just give me 1 second. I'm really going to make an effort this time. Let me just, I know, I get what you guys are saying. It could be better to do the dual screen thing. Cool. I think I'll be able to answer everything on time now. Keep in mind that I'm not checking the actual video, like, living the actual video. I'm not checking that. I get messages on my phone when someone comments on the video, and as for the YouTube, I'm not really live checking that. I'm really checking that like, after looking at the live stream, after finishing a question or something. That's when I look at those, right? So I'm not really looking at those too much, but I'm gonna try to make an effort to look at the live stream Q&A. Wait, what about your question, Lalon? Which question? Thank you. I know you're smart, Mazed. What question? Oh, your question, would it be better to ask questions on the Q&A or the actual video? It would be better to ask questions on the Q&A. Right? I should be able to see them pop up as I do them now. I kind of have it set up that way. But tomorrow I'll get a third screen. And what do we write down? Well, you should try to write down points, try to write down, the process. Keep in mind that my work may be available online. I might put up a PDF later on. You should be writing down, like what is he looking for, how does he like definite articles. He's looking for he's looking for stuff like that, stuff like that. Make sure you write that down. You don't really have to write down what the specific question is or the specific way I do it, but you have to write down like little pointers, right? Like, oh, you looked at you looked at content, you looked at, those kind of things, and really understand the process. Don't understand the answer. Don't understand why an answer is the correct answer, but understand how I got it, like the purpose, like the procedure of getting there. That's really the most important thing. Got it? The live stream keeps pausing. Well, I don't think it's pausing for anyone on my end, on their end, but I think the live stream keeps pausing maybe because of your internet connection, right? So maybe drop down to a lower quality. So if you're at 720p, maybe drop down to 480p. It's not gonna look as sharp or nice, but it should stop pausing. On my end, I have like 50 megabyte download and 5 megabyte upload, so everything works fine on my end. All right. So let's continue. Let's continue with these, right? These are pretty fun. Let me see how my tablet battery is doing. It's at 20%. All right. Dual screen. Let's see. Mazad using dual screens. Wonderful. Okay, number 3. What 5-letter sequence is formed from the word aster, A-S-T-E-R, by replacing the second letter with the fourth? What are these questions that are coming up? No questions, good. Okay. By replacing the second letter with the fourth, exchanging the first and the third, then placing the fifth in the fourth position, and finally placing the open letter in the position left open. Wonderful. Never mind and started it again. Good, Nissan. Same here, no problem with streaming, everything is accessible. And how will I be able to watch this later? On the YouTube link, we'll let you watch this later. Okay, guys, so aster, by formed from the word aster by replacing the second letter with the fourth, exchanging the first and third, then replacing the fifth and the fourth position, right? And finally placing the remaining letter in the position left open. All right, so we have the word aster. And now we're going to create 5 blanks, right? Underneath it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first it says replace the second letter with the fourth. So the second letter with the fourth. So the second letter is now E, because the fourth letter was E. Exchanging the first and the third. So that means switching the first and the third. So that means the T became over here, and the A became over here. And then what? And then placing the fifth in the fourth position. So the R goes over here, and then the remaining letter over here. So we're left with tears, which makes the answer D. Everyone got that? Wonderful. Moving on. Number 4. This is cute. Bo is taller than Mo, Flo is shorter than Bo, and Ho is taller than Flo, but shorter than Mo, so we can deduce that what? Okay, so for these I like to create diagrams, right? So how many names do I have? I have 1, which is Bo, 2, which is Mo, 3, which is Flo, 4, which is Ho. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cool. Okay, So we know what? We know that I'm just gonna try to like keep on the side because I'm not entirely sure everything else. So I'm gonna make this like, top to bottom. So like this is the tallest and this is the shortest. Everyone sees that? So make sure you always have that kind of thing. So eliminate A, B, and E answer choices. Ah, I see. You were using passive elimination for the last one. Yeah, that's cool. You could do that way. But alright, let's take a look. We know that Bo is taller than Mo, so that means that Bo is above Mo. We know that Flo is shorter than Bo, so Flo is somewhere either here, shorter than Bo, whatever it is. And Ho is taller than Flo, but shorter than Mo. Okay, so if Ho is taller than Flo, that must mean that Flo is over here and Ho is over here, because Ho is taller than Flo, but shorter than Mo. There's no way that Flo can be above Mo if Ho is above Flo and shorter than Mo, if that makes sense to anyone, right? So we have B, M, H, F, right? Now if we take a look, Bo is shorter than Ho. Is that true? No, Bo is the tallest. Mo is shorter than Ho. Is that true? No, Mo is taller than Ho. Flo is taller than Ho. Is that true? Flo is shorter than Ho. Flo is shorter than Mo. Is that true? Yeah, Flo is here and Mo is here, so Flo is shorter than Mo. How about K? Mo is shorter than Flo? No, that's not quite true. Flo is the shortest. So, what's my answer? My answer is J. Got it, guys? Moving on. Flo is the shortest. That is right, Mazad. Moving on. Now, here we have code games. Code games are like my favorite. They're my personal favorite. Let me just try to, expand this a little bit so I can show how much of a favorite this is. Sorry, guys. Let me just try to do something here. Expand. Come on. Yeah. So I can show it all on one page or something. That's cool. So we have a code game, and that's fine. Now keep in mind that this is an ARCO book, so it doesn't represent. I actually think that the editors did a terrible job of copying the question. Remember how like when we go over the Kaplan book? Yeah, good job, Mazad. Answer is J. For the previous one, right? Now, remember how we go over the Kaplan book and stuff like that and other books and stuff in class week that we do in class, right? We have the first, second, and third rule, but here it kind of gives us like first the three sentences. I'm gonna advise you and tell you that something happened on my end. Just give me a second, guys. I'm gonna advise you and tell you that the real SHST does give it to you in the sense where you have like a first, second, and third, right? So keep that in mind. It doesn't. What's happening? Yeah. What do you know if you press the watch later icon? I wouldn't know. You can press the watch later if you need to. Who is June alarm? I'm not entirely sure. But this video is open, right? This video is completely public. So like let's say someone has a link and it's also on Google's main page. So if someone has a link, they can watch it. So pretty much this isn't only limited to RQM students, right? Anyone can watch this video. But okay. Um uh 5 is E. That is true. Yes, that is true. 5 is E, right? But we'll get to that right now. So let's take a look. The letter representing a word, it usually is not directly located above the word it represents. So that means that M could be above Joe, M could be Joe, M doesn't have to be Joe. So which letter represents word cake? So what do? Mingmar, stop! Alright, so what do? I look for where is word cake? Whoa, not word cake. Where is cake? Right? So where is cake? Cake is in the last sentence only. Everyone sees that? We just have cake here. Anywhere else? Is there cake anywhere else? No, there's not cake anywhere else, right? So, what letter is only in that sentence? Well, M is in this sentence. Z, is Z in any other sentence? No, Z is not in any other sentence. How about S? S is in this sentence. How about Y? Y is not in any other sentence, is it? I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Right? So how about X? X is in that sentence. So it could be Z or X, Z or Y. I'm not entirely sure which one, so that's why it's E. Got it? There's no way I can eliminate. No, random people. Mazad, yeah, random people are always nice, right? You find that, I think that it's good to have, a nice service for you guys to go over the ARCA book. I don't really think that, it only has to be limited to RQM students. Okay, frankly, don't really care. Junaid Alam is actually Javid Alam. Ah, Javid. See guys, not random student. +1, I'm gonna +1 that. Wonderful. Alright, how are you guys doing? Let me just double check the live stream. Doing turn browsing off. No. Let me just double check some stuff. Ah, we have 10 viewers out of 12. That's not too bad. It's not shabby at all. Whoa, where am I? Wonderful. Let's get back to work. Alright, so here we have a passage. Some of you did well on the reading passages, some of you didn't do so well. If you didn't do so well, it's probably because you're not doing the basic things, right? The basic things being you're not going back to the passage as much as you should be. You're not crossing out answer choices. You're not reading as actively. Maybe you're rushing. Maybe you don't understand the answer choices. Something, and those are all important things. Yes. Oh, it's Shabbat. Come on, guys. Let's get to work. All right. Right, so maybe it's all of that, but the idea is that you have to concentrate, right? The reading comprehension section is not that bad, right? It's not that bad. Just go back to the passage and look at the answer choices, right? Now, when I initially read the passage, it honestly doesn't help that much, so I'm going to read pretty quickly, right? I don't really care that much about the passage. I'm just going to read pretty quickly, try to get a main point, then I'm gone. I'll add it to my circle so you can be more popular. I don't know what that means, but okay. Dan Sawyer, the well-known television host, is quick to tell interested young people that making it in television is not as easy as it looks from afar. She began in journalism, working for CBS as a stakeout reporter who spends hours on windy corners waiting to buttonhole the reluctant news headliners for an interview. Meanwhile, the anchor person is ensconced in the worms, pretty much entrenched in there. You'll have more logical and scrap paragraphs than the No, you'll only have 10 logical reasoning questions and 5 scrambled paragraphs in the ethicity. 10 logic, 5 scrambled. Okay, so meanwhile, the anchor person ensconced in the worm studio is having his or her hair ready for the camera. Back in her high school days in Louisville, Kentucky, Miss Sawyer was a cheerleader, and then she did a year as Miss American Teenager. During that year, she said, "I traveled on airplanes wearing my crown and scepter. It was awful. Her notoriety that year dampened her social life for 4 years in college. People bothered with me at all only so they could say, 'See, she's not so hot.' Consequently, she studied a good deal and majored in identity crisis. Her very first job in television was as a weather person in her hometown. I was so nearsighted I couldn't tell the western half of the map from the eastern end. Her worst moment was the night she signed up by saying, 'Today's high was 71 and temperature right now 77. That's always fun. Okay, so which of the following is the best style for the passage? The best style for the passage is usually going to be like a main idea kind of question, right? Yes, alone refers to diagnostic entity. Basically, what we do is diagnostics. Just this diagnostic had more logical reasoning than I would like it to. Next diagnostic will be more accurate. It will only have 10 logical reasoning, 5 paragraph, about 30 reading comprehension, and 50 math questions. Yeah, so which of the following is the best title for the passage? You're really looking at main idea here, main idea. Getting started in the show business. That is way too general, right? This is really specific to Diane Sawyer. The entire passage talks about Diane Sawyer. So F is true. G, the stakeout. That sounds really cool, right? The stakeout. Sounds really cool. But that's not really specific. It's only specific to what? I don't even know where we have a stakeout here. Right? We have this stakeout, and that's only talking about the first paragraph, but not talking about the entire passage, right? It can't be. G, how Diane Sawyer got her career start, and that is precisely the answer, right? Talks about her first job, talks about her high school years, what she studied, talks about how she began journalism. Exactly how she got her career start is the correct answer. J, why didn't you study? Oh my gosh. And K, the worst embarrassment, that really only focuses on her weather thing, right? Only the last part. Doesn't focus on the entire thing. Got it, guys. Cool. We can move on. Let's move on. Moving on, number 7, being American teenager. Well, Miss American Teenager. Let's go back to the passage. Back in her high school days in Louisville, Kentucky, Miss Sawyer was a cheerleader and then did a year as Miss American Teenager. Right? All right. Okay. Let's see. New question. H for what? 7 for 6? Yeah, 6 is H. Yeah, cool. Alright, 7. Yeah, so 7. Being Miss American Teenager. Back in her high school days in Louisville, Kentucky, Miss Sawyer was a cheerleader and then did a year as Miss American Teenager. During that year, she said, "I traveled on airplanes wearing my crown and scepter. It was awful." right? It dampened her social life. That's not a good thing. So which one says that? Was it was it her favorite half? Definitely not. How about B? Led to dancer's anchor person job. She doesn't say that. See, dampen dinosaur social life? Yes, it did. Whoa, exactly. Boom. Dampen her social life during her 4 years in college. New question C. That's the correct answer. Good job. Let's move on. 8. The job of a TV reporter. Okay, well, it better talk about a TV reporter here then. So where does it talk about a TV reporter? Let's see. Someone find it. Mm, over here. Over here, right? 5 to 5 lines, 5 to 11. She began journalism working in for CBS as a stakeout. The reporter who spends hours on windy corners waiting to buttonhole reluctant news headlines for an interview. Meanwhile, the anchor person is ensconced in the Worm Studios having his or her hair ready. Everyone sees that? So anchor person, beautiful lifestyle. They get their hair ready while the other person is in windy corners. Wonderful. So what's the correct answer, guys? Same? No. Harder? So the TV reporter harder? Yes, it is, right? The TV reporter is harder. Why is the TV reporter harder? Because the anchor is getting like makeup while the TV reporter's on a windy corner. Sometimes your marker is separate from your mouse. Maybe that's because my finger is on the tablet. But okay, that's fine. I'll try to fix that. Name, nice emotional reading. Changing voice, tone of voice a lot, I see. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. All right, yeah, so we have that. So that's G, right? Moving on, number 9, right? Which of the following does this passage imply? Which of the following does this passage imply? Well, okay. Well, let's take a look. This is kind of the harder ones because you're kind of like looking forward, looking to see which one. But okay. A, dinosaurs are very conceited. Whoa, definitely not. B, it's easy for pretty woman. No, it says it's hard. It says it's hard, right? A long journey, right? How about C, no, she had college education. How about D, dinosaurs is a down-to-earth, honest woman. Yep. Sounds honest, right? She told us about how it was awful. She told us how her mistake, even though it's embarrassing, she can bring us a good story, right? So that's why That's why I'll say that's the correct answer. Cool. Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. Cool. Let's move on. All right. So 8 is G. Number 9. Which of the following? Oh no, 9 is D. We did that already. Okay. Now we're on a dental treatment one, right? Now keep in mind that I don't actually like the Orca book so much, right? Now that I'm actually, teaching with you guys, I don't like it so much. I think it's a little bit inaccurate, maybe a little too easy actually. I think the questions are a little bit too easy, so let's try to work through this a little bit quicker. All right, that's cool. I'm just positioning my pop filter right now. Hold on. Okay. So what do we have here? What do we have? Okay, what do we have? All right, so we have, let me just double check, make sure there's no comments, nothing wrong. You dropped down to 9 viewers. Ooh, I'm gonna see who dropped down. Sounds honest does not mean is. Well, it's talking about that question. She kind of gave us her embarrassing moments, so we can assume that, she's honest. She didn't have to give us, what was embarrassing about herself. No comments in the video. No comments in the question besides yes, and so I'm guessing it's Rosanna. Yeah, we're good to go. There's no comments in the chat. Everything is good. Good. Let me just go back to the Google Plus thing. Wonderful. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is this. All right. So 10. Which of the following best describes the theme of this passage? Right. So this is a many questions. So we obviously read the passage first. Let's do it. Dental treatment. Are you sure we can finish the bigger books in 3 days? Actually, here's the funny part. I think that we can finish the smaller books in less than 3 days, and I think we can finish the bigger books in 3 days. Obviously, we're going a little bit slow today, but we're actually on time if you think about it, right? We had a little bit of a snafu earlier because today's our first day, but we're on track to finish our first book in like an hour 30, and then if we finish like 3 today, we can do 3 tomorrow. Well, 3.5 tomorrow and 3.5 the next day because we won't have the snafu, and that will let us finish our book. right? Keep in mind the larger books, I'm really only focused on a couple of the sections, so don't worry too much about that. I think we'll be able to finish. Is Mingmore even here? I can check on that later. Okay. Now, dental treatment has not changed drastically over the years. Cavities are still filled, root canal operations still save decaying teeth, crowns, caps, and bridges replace broken or missing teeth. What else do I? Oh, where am I? Okay, crooked teeth are still straightened with braces. In fact, about the only widely used new treatments are implants for false teeth and bonding for ugly ones, and they don't always work. But although treatments themselves have changed little, the techniques, tools, and materials the dentists use are constantly being upgraded. The old chair, which the dentist used to pump into position with a foot pedal, is gone, replaced by one that glides silently into position at those in the push of a button, often permitting the patient to recline at this dentist's work level. Replacing drills handles scattered overhead, their belts and pulleys in frightening view, is a compact arrangement of handpieces, convenient to the dentist's reach. All motor parts are condensed and concealed. In place of the binding searchlight, which used to be trained on your open mouth, is a probing mirror with its own high-intensity light, and the overhead beam is confined to your mouth area. That old torture instrument, the drill, no longer must be pressed down forcibly or stopped periodically while it cools off. Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah, good masterpiece. All right, the old torture thus acts as suspense of the torture. Today, it is a high-speed water-cooled device. It can, however, still hurt when a nerve is struck. It is unlikely that in the foreseeable future, a trip to the dentist will be an eagerly anticipated treat, but at least it should take less time and give better results. So what is it trying to say? It's trying to say that dentistry has gotten better, right? It has gotten less painful for the patient, right? The patient has to do much less effort and that kind of thing, right? And that's always cool, right? That's interesting. Now, let's take a look at the answers. Which of the following best describes the theme of the passage? Well, obviously, that the patients, that the whole dentistry experience has gotten a lot better, right? It has been better. Now, no longer do you have to have high intensity lines on your face. No longer does the drill have to be forcibly pushed down, right? So which answer choice says that? Which answer choice says that, guys? Come on. Dental treatment has changed little with the times, but the equipment used keeps improving. Everyone sees that. The dental treatment itself has changed little over time because everyone sees that. That paragraph right there gives it to you. Right? Lines 11 to 14 gives it to you. Got it? Go back to the passage always for every question. Moving on. And also all the answers are kind of like, off the top. Like completely out of this world, irrelevant. Right? But let's move on. Number 11, positioning the patient for dental treatment today. Okay, so you're going to go back to the passage and see where it talks about positioning the patient for dental treatment today. Right? Well, what paragraph is that, guys? What line says that? Well, over here. The old chair was the dentist used to pump into position with a foot pedal. G for which one? Yeah, number 10 was G. F. You say that one was F. Dentistry through the years. Which of the following best describes the theme of this passage? Dentistry through the years. F could be considered, but F is a little bit too general, right? It's a little bit too general. Yeah, exactly. G is more specific. Keep in mind, it's not always the more specific answer that is right. Just because the answer is specific doesn't make it right. There's like a fine line between like too specific and too broad. Like you want to hit that, just right, like kind of like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears thing, like just right. But keep in mind that and G is directly in the passage. Yeah, that is precisely it. The fact that G is directly in the passage, and it does kind of say what the entire thing talks about. And the fact that G G contains the dentistry changes a little with the times, and that is substantiated by the passage. And the fact that the passage focuses on the improving equipment is really enough to give enough credence that G is the correct answer. I know that a lot of you are tempted to put F, but the passage puts G in the correct context. Now the video just buffered. I don't know. I should be fine. The video is fine. I think my computer and my internet connection can handle it. Okay, positioning the patient for dental treatment today. Okay, so we were looking at this one, right? So now what? It's replaced by one that glides silently into position at the push of a button, often permitting the patient to recline at the dentist's work level. Which answer choice says that? The correct answer is E. That's comment. Yeah, guys, I actually think that the video may buffer or whatever, the audio may whatever stop or something, or the video may stop and switch and whatever, but that is really your internet speed, right? If I were to show you my internet speed, you would realize that it's definitely not my internet or my computer power that is, creating that buffer. Something wrong with your computer. Maybe close all other applications, or make sure no one else is, like doing something on the internet, and I guess that would give you better results. Number 12. In the old days, drilling was one of the most feared parts of dental treatment because what? Well, let's take a look. Drilling. So where does it talk about drilling? Where does it really talk about drilling? Over here. The old torture treatment, the drill, no longer must be pressed down forcibly or stopped periodically while it cools off, thus adding to the suspense of the torture. Today, it is a high-speed water-cooled device. It can, however, still hurt when a nerve is struck, right? So we know what? Drilling was one of the most feared parts. Why was it one of the most feared parts? Because it had to be stopped periodically while it cools off, and it must be pressed down forcibly. Which answer choice says that? Okay. Hi, Mingmar. Okay. Moving on, number 13. A dentist handpiece today is, well, where does it talk about the handpiece? Well, let's see. There we go. Replacing drill handles. Really? This took 2 minutes to get to? I guess I'll work on that tomorrow. I don't think it gets 2 minutes to get to me, but maybe. Who knows? Okay, well, we're looking at the handpieces. Hello. Hi, Mingmore. What was happening? Paragraph 4, yep, Lalone. Paragraph 4. But although the old chair with the replacing drill handles scattered overhead, their belts and pulleys in front of view, is a compact arrangement of hand pieces, convenient to dentist reach. All motor parts are condensed and concealed. Which answer says that? And 6. Well, yeah, I guess you could use that. But really, the 4th paragraph we should focus on. And the answer is D. Right? And that's precisely what the answer says. Cool. We have finished the reading part. Let's move on to the math part. We don't have much time today, right? Well, just keep going. Keep going. Let's drill through these. These are really easy, right? Come on, guys. This is the ARCO book. The ARCO book, the Peterson'S book, is known for being the easiest book. So let's drill through these. Let me just flip up. All right. Let's do this. Come on, guys. 15 squared. 15 squared is 225 plus negative 3 cubed. Well, negative 3 squared is 9 because negative. Well, let's do it. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. That's what negative 3 cubed is, right? Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9 because negative times negative is positive. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. Make that 1 minute, which is 60-second time lapse. That's cool. But it's kind of because I'm not looking at it too frequently. I kind of see it, but then I do the work, and then then I look at the question, then I look at the comments. But okay. Now what else do we have? Solve for x. So we have 9 times negative 3, which is negative 27. So plus negative 27 minus, well, what's 1 squared? Minus 1, right? Well, that's 225 minus 27 minus 1. Right, everyone sees that? So what is that? That's going to be 225 minus 27. Well, that's going to be 198. 198 minus 1 is 197. That is J. Good job, guys. Good job. Well, you didn't do anything. Yay! 15. Solve for x. X plus 2 is equal to 5 over 3x. Wonderful. What do I want to do here? I'm going to multiply by 3x, right? To get rid of the fraction. Multiply by 3x over here. Cool. So what do I get? I get 3x squared plus 6x is equal to 5. That is wonderful. Well, if I were to do this here this way, it would be a little bit difficult. Like, if you guys can see that, it would be a little bit difficult because we're having to factor here. So don't necessarily factor. That could be that would be a little bit difficult. I think there's an easier way to do it. So let's try to do that easier. So I'm gonna just undo a little bit. And I guess we could do it, let me just try to make more space here, because it'll be better. X plus 2 is equal to 5 divided by 3x. We could just subtract that x. 15 is A. That is correct. Right, yeah, so we can subtract that x and we could have 2 is equal to 5 over 3x minus, now that would be what? That would just be, we want common denominator, so that would just be, we can make that 3x over 3, right? And then we can go at it from there, right? So keep that in mind. Actually, let me think about it this way. No, guys, I think this question is wrong. I think this question is wrong. I actually think this question is incorrect. It's wrong. Data guys, this question is wrong. Right? I know you want to put A and the answer key does say A, but this question is wrong. And I'm looking at the explanation of the answer key, and the answer key is wrong. 5 over 3x is not equal to 5 over 3x. That's not it. 5 over 3 times x is equal to 5x over 3, not 5 over 3x. Got it, guys? That answer key is wrong. And you can even see that it's wrong, because the answer key says 3 is equal to x, right? Plug in 3. 3 times 3 is 9. That's 5 over 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. Does 5 equal 5 over 9? Definitely not, guys. It's disappointing to see after a few additions that, they can't fix that. That's pretty disappointing. Got it, guys? Keep that in mind. That is wrong. That's why we had some trouble with initially, right? Don't always look at the answer key, guys. Those of you who said A are looking at the answer key, right? Looking at the working answer key, maybe, right? Pay attention to the video stream. There could be mistakes, and number 15 is definitely not A. What is the length of side x of the triangle shown below, right? Now let's take a look. We want to do it this way, right? We want to do it this way. So that's right, Mazed. So let's try to find the length of side x, right? Yeah, but back to what Mazed was saying. Yeah, guys. I do have like the letter answers open just to make sure that we're getting the correct answer every single time, and we make like a small number mistake or like a small reading mistake. But keep in mind that I'm not trusting the answer key, right? Or I'm not basing it off the answer key, right? I'm teaching it as it is, right? The explanations are pretty useless to me, right? Keep in mind that 15 is wrong. That work is wrong. Keep in mind how the explanation says x plus 2 is equal to 5 over 3 times x. That's not equal to 5 over 3x. Under no mathematical construct. Got it? But okay, what is the length of side x? You subtracted 5 minus 2. You can't do that. How do you subtract 5 minus 2? That's 5 over 3. No way you could do that. Something you're doing wrong. No way you could do what you're doing. Okay, what is the length of side x of the triangle shown below? Well, Pythagorean theorem, right? Pythagorean theorem, we know that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. X squared plus 2 squared is equal to square root 29 squared. That's going to be x squared plus 4 is equal to 29. Subtract 4, x squared is equal to 25. And then square root, x is equal to 5. What is length of side x? Yeah, so x is equal to 5. J. 16 is J. 30, 60, 90? No, that's not a 30, 60, 90 right now. Nowhere does it say that it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Since it's SHST, we would expect to see like a 30, 60, 90 triangle. But no, all we know for that is that it's a right triangle. We don't know if it's a 30, 60, 90. We don't know if it's a special right triangle. We're just sure that it's a right triangle, right? So let's not assume more than we should. Number 17. Right, let's see what, oh, whoa, we have a lot of things going on in that bracket, right? Let's try to clean it out. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, right? And then subtract what? 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And then we're dividing by 1/2. Well, we can do keep, change, flip. So we can change that division to multiply, right? We're keeping this, changing the division to multiply, and then flipping that. So 1/2 becomes 2, right? Negative 8 minus negative 2. Whenever you have two minuses, they become a plus. So that just becomes negative 8 plus 2 times 2, right? Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. Everyone sees that? And that is the correct answer, D. Wait, square root 29 is S9? No. Look what we did. We did x squared plus 2 squared is square root 29 squared. Square root of 29 squared is just 29. Got it? Like square root of 30 squared is just 30. Yeah, precisely. Square root 29, yeah. Got it? That's the idea. Keep that in mind. The square gets rid of this radical square root. Got it? Moving on. 18. Answer is J for what? Yeah, 16. 16 answer is J. That's right. Okay, 18. Let's do 18. Let's do 18. This is just a bunch of adding. No? Positive 12? What are you saying? Why are you saying positive 12 for number 17? Why? Why are you saying positive 12? It's not positive 12. It's negative 12. Yeah, because negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Then you have the minus there. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. That 2 minuses is a plus. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. 18 is G. Well, that's what the answer key says, right? Let's double check that. 17 is B. No, 17 is not B. It's not, Mazette. It's not. 17 is not B, right? Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. You have that minus there. Now, the minus becomes plus. So negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. Negative 6, keep change, flip that. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. What? There is no negative times negative. That's minus. That's subtracting. Right? Hold on. Let me clear this up just from a Z. Got it? Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Then we have that minus. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Then we close that bracket. Divide by 1/2 is multiply by 2. Keep change flip. Negative 8 minus negative 2 just becomes negative 8 plus 2 times 2. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6 times 2, which is negative 12. Lauren, we'll take a look at the second, right? We'll take a look at that in a second. Okay, people are saying that 18 is like wrong or something, right? Let's take a look. So we have 4.23 plus 60.0, so that's 60.0. 0.354. Make sure you line up based on the decimal point. Right, make sure you line up based on the decimal point. So you have a 4 at the end. 5 plus 3 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4, 64.584. That is G. That's easy. Yeah, Lalone, you're bad. Okay, 19. Sammy pitched 8 games and won 5 of them. To the nearest percent, what percent of games did Sammy lose? Okay. Sammy pitched. Okay, so what? So he won 5, so he lost 8. So 3 over 8. Well, you're gonna divide. Well, I know that 1/8 is 0.125. So I'm gonna multiply that by 3. That's gonna be 0.375. So 3/8 is 0.375. We're just gonna round to like 38%. Mingmar, it's buffering. That is your internet speed. Maybe you're doing something else on the computer that you shouldn't be doing, right? That is your internet speed, right? My internet speed, I don't know if I should show it to you guys, right, is a solid 50 megabytes download. It's 64.377. What's 64.377? Nothing is 64.377. But yeah, guys, so I'm gonna show you guys my internet speed now, just so you guys can get a feel that it's definitely your computer and not mine. Right, and then if I was to I just use this one. I just use this one because no one's doing that. And then if I was to do a speed test, begin test. Right, I'll be able to see that I get about 50 download and I get about 5 upload. Right, and then we can go back after this. Just so you guys know, it's definitely your computer that is creating the lag. Alright, guys. Okay. Yeah. Zed was not looking at the answer key. He had a wrong answer. This is awesome, Javed. Finally, name is in short sleeve. Yeah, I'm at home, guys. Alright. Okay, let's continue. Alright. Let's see. Which of the following shows an isosceles triangle? Obviously, isosceles triangle, 2 angles are the same, 2 sides are the same. Which one shows that? Well, 30 plus 20 is 150. So, a triangle must have 180 degrees. So that must be 30 degrees also. And boom, you're done. Let's move on, guys. We'll go a little bit quicker. 21. Let me just double check, make sure everything is good on this side. All right, Safari. Let me just close that, move that. We're good to go. Let me just keep that question tab just like last time, just so I can see the questions. I'm in short sleeves all the time, guys. I wear polo sometimes at work, but I'm at home now, so I'm in a t-shirt. All right, number 21. Carol bought a coat for $60, right? This was 75% of its original price. How much was the coat reduced? Now, that's a lot of books. So you guys are looking at my book collection. Oh, trust me, my book collection is huge. That's not even like half my book collection. But okay. Carol bought a coat for $60. This was 75% of its original price, but how much was the coat reduced? Well, obviously, right, the coat was reduced for, well, you're gonna have to, well, If it's 75% of the original price, that means that she didn't pay 25%. So first says, why can you use a calculator? I'm not using a calculator. It's blurry, not blur. Mingmar said that. That's because of internet, but okay. Why is the screen blur? That's because internet. Your internet, not my internet. Off mic, but what mic is that? I did a lot of research into the microphones and like how to do this. The microphone I have is a Blue Yeti Pro, right? And it's connected to a Blue Yeti pop filter, so you guys don't get that much gain, right? Happy to answer questions. Okay, so we know that Carol bought a coat for $60. This was 65% of its original price. Or it was 75% of the original price. So that means that they didn't pay, Carol didn't pay 25%. So it's off by 25% off. So, well, we can divide that by 3, right? And that would get, because 75% is $60. So if we divide 75% by 3, we get 25%. 60 times 0.25. Well, that's not even going to get us the answer. Ready? You're doing the wrong thing. Ready? We know that $60 is 75% of price. Now, we know that since she paid 75%, we want 25% of price. So that's what we want. 25% of price is the sale. So, well, how do we get from 75% to 25%? Divide by 3, right? Divide by 3, that's $20. That's it. Yep. Oh, my collection of books. No, I just think that everyone should have a good amount of books in their house, you know, especially as a tutor. But okay, number 22. In the figure shown, each segment. This mic, loan. Please loan. All right, in the figure shown, each segment is 10 centimeters long, and all angles are right angles, right? The area of the shaded region is what? Okay, well, let's take a look. Now, well, you can do this in a couple different ways. You can kind of, you can take the square. Everyone sees that? And you see this? I'm going to just divvy it up. I'm going to divvy it up. Well, let me just make it a little bit neater. Let me just zoom in, actually. I can zoom in for you guys. That'd be beautiful. So I can just, you know, create that a little bit. And then create that. And if you can see, you can take this little bit and move it over here. Everyone sees that? Does that make sense? So now you have 2 full squares, right? And each segment is 10 centimeters long in all angles. So 10 times 10 is 100. And 100 times 2 is 200. You're filling 2. Yeah, the Blue Yeti is very good, right? It is a very good mic. We can talk about that off topic. The Blue Yeti is a very good mic. I use it because, you know, it's good. I was gonna get the Blue Yeti Pro, but the reason why I didn't get the Blue Yeti Pro is that it has an output at a much higher sound bit than like CD quality, and that might cause problems for, you know, you downloading that audio because it could be a large file. It's a much larger file. Okay, so that's 200 square centimeters. Everyone sees that? Great. Now moving on. Number 23. What is 1/4% of 2800? Oh, can we do not independent question? What does that mean? Okay, so what is 1/4% of 2800? Well, think about it. Well, I'm going to try to find 1% of 2800. How do I find 1% of 2800? Well, I can find 10% by going back 1. So I can find 1%, well, going back 1 digit. I can find 10% by going back 1 digit. I can find 1% by going back 2 digits. So 1% of 28 is 2800 actually. Is 28. Now what? Well, I want 1/4%. I'm just going to divide that by 4. Right? The 1/4% of 2800 must be 7 then. Got it? 7. Not too bad. How would I know if the shape I took out would fill exactly? Well, I can kind of eyeball it actually, right? Because if I were to delete that, you can see how it's not exactly half of the triangle. And since it's a straight line, you see, you make a fair point, but just for people like you, there's another way you could do that problem. You see how this is 10, right? 10 times 10 is 100. So you know that this is 100. And then if you broke this up into like a large triangle, how do you find the other triangle? Base times height over 2, right? Well, you know that the base is 10, and you know that since it's two sides, that must be 20. 20 times 10 is 100. 200. 200 divided by 2 is 100. So you can find that this is also 100. And 100 plus 100 is 200. So that's another way to do the problem, just in case, you wanted to be that, nitpicky. But okay, that's 7. Moving on. Everyone got that? 23. 24. 24. The sum of the coordinates of which points of the number line above would be equal to 0, right? All right. Now we want to have something equal to 0, so I guess we kind of like do it, right? So negative 6 plus negative 2 is negative 8. In EI, well, that's 8 too, so that's easy. That's the answer, right? Because B, negative 6 plus negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 0 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. And we want to know which one's equal to 0. F is good. That's not too bad. Number 25. How many fourths are there in 5, 6? This is a very common question. Even though the ArcBook sucks, it's a very common question that's just D. How many fourths are there in 5, 6? Well, what do you want to do? Well, just divide 5 6. Divide that by 1/4. Because you want to know how many fourths are there. Right? How many fourths are there? Well, 5 6 divided by 1/4. That's 5 6 times 4. And that's going to be 20 over 6, which is 10 over 3. Everyone got that? And that's going to be E. Cool. All right, 26. The average of negative 10, 6. Well, we all know how to do that, right? Average. That is sum of numbers divided by the number of numbers you added. So sum of numbers, that's going to be negative 10 plus 6 plus 0 plus negative 3 plus 22 all over the number of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. My handwriting is bad, but negative 4 plus 0 is, I guess I should make that better plus, but what I can't really, can't. Sorry, guys. That's plus, not a 10. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus negative 3 is negative 7. Negative 7 plus 22 is what, guys? What's negative 7 plus 22? Well, that's 15. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. G's the answer. Alright, looks like we're done with the first test. Congratulations. Here was the answer key. You guys can check your work just in case you want to, right? I'm scrolling down. Everything's cool. What if you use common denominator alone for which one? Doesn't it feel weird talking to a screen instead of the whole class? No. Actually. Like, I would maybe think it would feel weird. But, no, it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe you expect it to feel weird? I don't know. It doesn't feel weird to me, though. It feels perfectly fine. I feel good. Can we do independent questions? What do you mean by independent questions alone? How much battery does your tablet have? The tablet has 20% still, huh? Holding strong, guys. Holding strong. Okay, let's continue on to practice test 2. Whoa, I went all the way to 3. I know why it's doing that, because so zoomed in. Okay, guys, I'm at practice S2 now. Should all be on practice S2. The one with the many fourths and 5/6. Well, alone, that question, the one with the many fourths and 5/6, actually can't really do that with. How would you? I don't know how you find a common denominator for that because you're trying to find how many 1/4 there are in 5/6. So you divide 5/6 by 1/4. So 5/6 divided by 1/4. How do you do division? You do keep, change, flip. I see. You tell us what question to do. We do them independently. That's cool, but I kind of like doing that in our class sessions, rather than doing that on our online sessions. All right, let's continue, guys. This is fun. Taifor Rashid, charge your tablet. Ha 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 ha. Taifor, I wish I could charge my tablet, but my wire is at RQM, and I quite frankly can't run to RQM now. I'm probably gonna run to RQM later today just to grab that wire. Okay. All right, guys, let's get to work. So, all right, so we have this first ground paragraph here. Not doing bad. My tablet is doing very well, actually. I love my tablet. All right, so we have from then on, communist leaders recognize the importance of mind control as the way to force reluctant people to do their bidding. Right? That's a nice topic sentence. Now, well, it kind of seems like we're talking about mind control, maybe, or maybe like how to force people or something of that sort. The content for this paragraph was kind of unclear. So let's try to look at the answers and try to see if there's anything that makes the content or subject topic a little bit clearer, right? Because it is fairly unclear, I'm not going to lie, right? So let's look at Q. Getting a sip of water. Q. Q says one of these techniques. Oh, what techniques? It doesn't talk about any techniques in the topic sentence, right? So Q is completely uncalled for, so Q doesn't work as a first sentence. How about R? R, this same kind of brainwashing. What kind of brainwashing? That's not really mentioned either, right? How about S? Then they would say, then who would say? How about T? The subtle psychological techniques employed to break political or war prisoners and extract information or obedience from them was known as brainwashing. Great. That kind of goes further into the topic, right? Over here it says the importance of mind control is to force reluctant people to do their bidding. And T goes in depth on that, right? So that's why we want to have T first. After T, well, we can have quite a few things, right? Well, Q is going to clearly go after T, even as I was like glancing for a little bit as what could go after T. Why? Why? Because one of these techniques, I really want you to focus on these. What is these techniques focusing? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. In T it says the subtle psychological techniques. So Q must be second. Now, after that, right, one of these techniques especially favored by North Korean prisoner of war camp guards was to torture. I don't know why my chat thing is moving a lot. Is anyone asking any questions, or am I not seeing them or something? Okay, good, whatever. Yeah, so Q works, and then after Q, well, North Korean prisoner guards was to torture the prisoner through starvation, sleep deprivation, cruel beatings until he was near death, right? Well, he was near death. Now, S makes sense after Q. Why does S make sense after Q? They would save him. Who would they save? That prisoner, right? Only repeat the entire process. Wonderful. Now, what happens? Eventually, the prisoner would be so grateful for the captors for saving him from death so often. Everyone sees why that is a direct link after S. Why is that a direct link after S? Because it makes perfect sense, right? Here they're saving him, and now eventually, as he gets saved a lot of times, he's grateful. And then, this same kind of brainwashing. What kind of brainwashing? The one that is talked about in Q, S, and U. Everyone got that? That's that. The correct answer is T, Q, S, U, R. Moving on. My tablet battery is surprisingly holding very strong, still at 20%. Okay. Now, number 2. Have you ever wondered what kind of work you might be doing if you decided on a career in physics and successfully completed your education in that field? That's a wonderful question. Okay, now that's a kind of like a weird question. Well, we have to kind of, maybe a question, maybe the next sentence will elaborate on a term there, or maybe we'll give like a slight answer to that question, like a possible answer, and we'll take a look at which one is the correct answer, obviously, right? So let's do that right now. Q. Physicists who are experts. Well, why are we talking about physicists? Way too abrupt. R. Physicists still physicists. S. Many industries employ physicists. Okay, so that kind of works, but it's still a little too abrupt for me. T. Another area what other area of specialization? That doesn't make any sense. You could do research. Whoa, that is a possible answer to the question, right? So that's what you use first. Clearly, we have answer choices, right? You could do research in a commercial laboratory or in a university, testing physical theories with practical applications. Just a slight yawn. All right, so what else do we have? Let's see. So we have you, and then after you, what else do we have? You could do research in a commercial laboratory or university testing physical theories with practical applications, right? Many industries employ physicists. So after you're testing physical theories, yeah, you is first. So after testing physical theories, you could, talk about the physicists. So that's why there's S. Many industries employ physicists to find ways to improve manufacturing process or products, right? And then after S, well, to employ physicists to find ways to, okay, now why is Q after S? Well, Q explains what a physicist is, right? So S introduces the fact that, hey, you could be a physicist, and then Q explains what a physicist is, right? What they do and on the job description, all that kind of stuff, right? And that kind of stuff is, fairly important. Now, physicists who are experts at bodies, or who are experts at bodies of motion, contribute to the building of bridges, roads, even vehicles. Even while those who specialize in thermodynamics are needed to design engines and refrigerators, right? So we know that that Q is going to happen after that, and after Q, we can put what? Well, physicists in still other areas of science. Okay, so that could work. Possibly. T. Another area of specialization is sound. Well, we know what? We know that T has to be after Q. Why? Because it says another area of specialization. What other area of specialization could we be talking about? Well, look, in Q it says, well, those who specialize in thermodynamics. Well, not 3, that's 4. After 3, obviously, and that's 5th. Everyone sees that? That makes sense. So the correct answer is U as QTR. Nothing special. Everyone understand that? Great. I see no questions, no weird letters. Mazed kind of put a U letter, but I hope everyone's paying attention. All right, let me just take a look at the live stream, see how many people are watching. Okay, good. 9 viewers. I think one of you is like looking at another tab. I'll take a look at that later on. Do we have any questions on anything else? Let me check my phone. No other questions. Charge your tablet was the last question, but therefore, let me just check everything else, make sure that we are good to go. Google Plus. Are we allowed to write in the book? You are allowed to write in the book. By all means, you are allowed to write in the book. I just see the question now. You are allowed to write in the book, but I wouldn't suggest you to do so. You want to save it for later, right? You just want to learn it now and then see if you can apply it on your own later. Okay, wonderful. Let's keep going. Moving on to the logical reasoning section, right? The logical reasoning section. Okay. Which two letters in Cameron is two letters before, which letter in the name Cameron is two letters before the third letter preceding the last letter? Okay, so we have the last letter, and then we're looking for the third letter preceding the last letter. So 1, well, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So E is the third letter preceding the last letter, and then we want two letters before that one. So M and then A. B. Everyone got that? That's cool. I think hold on, I'm not sure why anything else is happening. Yeah, exactly. Right? It is considered leaving for Google Plus, and that's why I'm able to tell when you leave. Now, moving on. Let's see. Let's see. Moving on. Okay. Okay. So number four. Number four. Tawana, Ida or Ida, Sonia, Amy. Let's see, something's weird. Let me just fix something, guys. And all right, good to go again. All right. So Tawana, Ida, Sonia, Amy, and Rita are friends, right? So Ida is shorter than more than half of her friends. Rita is shorter than all but one of the girls. Sonia is separated from Amy by one girl, and Amy is taller than Tawana. Going from tallest to shortest, where's the order of height? All right, so let's see what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We have 5 things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm gonna kind of go from like a tallest to shortest. And you gotta always create the kind of direction in your diagrams, right? You always want to create the kind of direction, the direction that's that says where everything's happening. Now, Ida is shorter than more than half of her friends, right? So we know that Ida, well, here's 2, here's 3. Ida could be here or here. And then that's the only place she'd be shorter than more than half of her friends, right? Well, what else do we know? Rita is shorter than all but one. So she is shorter than all but one. That puts Rita over here. Now we know that Ida could only be here or here. So Ida must be here. Everyone sees that? And automatically, just based on that, I'm looking at this and G's answer. Everyone got that? Just based on that. Just based on that. Just based on that. Got it? Everyone got that? That's cool. Moving on. Now again, right? We had class for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, that's not bad though, right? That's not bad. It doesn't feel like 1 hour and 45 minutes to me. I don't know if it feels like that to you. But okay. Now keep in mind that the code game directions here are not good, right? They're not good, as in like they're not accurate. The actual SHSD has different instructions, which are the ones we see in class. But these are the ones that the ARCO book chooses to use. Okay. Now, let's see. Which word? Well, we know the letters are scrambled, never placed above the word it represents. So that means that if M is above Jackie, M cannot be Jackie. Since X is above drinks, X cannot be drinks. Since R is above Coco, R cannot be Coco. Right? We all understand that. Now you use process of elimination like I did before. I did kind of, but I just saw it. Like in the glance of my eye. I'm like, whoa, I got Rita Ida, and whoa, there's only one with Rita Ida, so I'm not gonna continue doing this problem. Right? So now let's take a look. Which word is represented by the letter V? Well, where do we see the letter V? Well, we see the letter V here. We see the letter V where else? Nowhere else. Everyone sees that? We don't see the letter V anywhere else. So which word is only in that second sentence? Pedro? That's a possibility. Loves is in the last sentence. How about coffee? Coffee is in the third sentence. How about and? And is in all the sentence. How about fries? Guess what? Fries is also only in the second sentence. So Pedro and fries. Now we know that V cannot be Pedro, right? Can V be Pedro, guys? Can V be Pedro? No, V cannot be Pedro because V is on top of Pedro. So V must be fries. Everyone sees that? Got it? Because V is on top of Pedro. And that rule says the letters are never placed above the word. V cannot be Pedro, so V must be fries. Moving right along, we have the passages. We have the passages, right, guys? The passages. Okay. So we have the passages. Yeah, fries, that's right. Your marker's on the right and markings is to the left, and also is a bit choppy. The writing, not audio. A minor hindrance, but not a problem. I'll tell you why that is. It's because my tablet is on like energy saving mode, so it's probably trying to, compensate for like, low energy. But that's fine, it'll be fixed tomorrow. Okay, now going back, we have our reading passages. Those are always fun, right? Let's kill these. All right. Gasoline prices at the pump vary from station to station by as much as 30 cents a gallon for the same gas. Yep, they don't have cannot be determined for this one. Now, gasoline prices at the pump vary from station to station by as much as 30 cents to a gallon for the same gas. Have you ever wondered why? The price of gas is set by the retailer. Gas station owners operate in a free market. The price they charge depends upon many factors: the amount of gas each sells weekly, the amount of gas competition from nearby stations, the profit margin the owner seeks, whether the station makes most of its money in its service base or from pumping gas, the rent and other overhead paid in that area, how liberal a charge policy the station maintains, the amount of service offered the gas customer, the tank wagon price paid to the distributor, which may depend on the retailer's volume. How did you get that message so fast? Well, I'm getting the messages fairly quickly, or I'm just not seeing them. Okay, so that's fine. Let's just continue reading, guys. Come on. The tank wagon price paid to the distributor, which may depend on the retailer's volume, and finally what the market will bear. On a busy highway or in a dense commercial center where gas stations are cheek by jowl with one another, the competition keeps prices down. These stations need to sell gas because most of their consumers are just driving through and will not bring their cars in for service. The small-town gas station with little competition sells relatively little gas for which it pays a higher price and renders a more service. The overhead may or may not be higher than that of urban station, but you can be pretty sure what to pay for gas here. What I want you guys to do, actually, guys, is take 10 minutes. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, just take 12 minutes, and I want you guys to do the questions independently. Let's see how many get right. Obviously, there's an answer key, but try not to cheat. All right, guys. So take 10 minutes and then do the questions, and then we'll go over all the ones you get wrong. Got it, guys? I think that's a good way to do it. Obviously, don't cheat. I know that there's an answer key, but we should be able to explain it. Got it, guys? Come on. Okay, so we see that 6 is H. 6 is H is the correct answer. That's good. So Mazed did one. Can someone else step in and do another one? Come on, guys. It's not like one person do one. Like people do different questions, right? Come on, guys. Yeah, guys. All right. The goal actually is that you complete the book before the online session, right? So you complete the book before the online session, and then we go over it. But obviously, because this time around, there was so much difficulty getting the books on time and everything of that sort, then what can we do? Yeah, I would say, Nisa, that each person posts one question's answer. Got it? So Mazette already did number 6. I'm looking for someone to do number 7 now. 7 is D. 7 is D, Shafin. That is the correct answer. Can you go over number 4 again or something? Can you go over 4 again? Oh, I see what it did there. Yeah, 7 is D, Shafin. I already got that. Thank you. All right, yeah, number 4. Okay, Tayfur just used the YouTube thing, I think, to comment that he didn't get number 4. All right, Tayfur, number 4. Take a look. It says, Rita is shorter than all of her friends, all but one. That's important. Rita is shorter than all but one. Let me just turn off the touch off. Okay. Rita is shorter than all but one. Well, 8 is H. Is 8 H? Yes, 8 is not H. I want you to take a look very carefully. Alone. 8 is not H. Okay, so it says Rita is shorter than all but one of her friends. That means she's shorter than everyone but one person. So she's just taller than one person. So Rita must be here. It also says, okay, Mozad, yeah, Mozad, you're right. Explain why 8 is J. Okay, but it also says that that Sonia is no, it says that that Ida is shorter than more than half of her friends. Ida cannot be here because then she's shorter than half of her friends. Ida can be here because she's shorter than more than half of her friends, or Ida can be here because she's shorter than more than half of her friends. Right? So Ida can be here or here. But we already know that Rita is here. So Ida must be here. The only thing with Rita and Ida is this one at the end. Got it? So that's why 4 is G. I don't even have to continue. All right, Zad, I want to explain why 8 is J. I think that's pretty important. Even though Lone got it, I saw that, but I still want you to explain why 8 is J. Okay, good job. Competition, Jao, what does that mean? Come on, Zad, explain why 8 is J. All right. I know, Lone, you got it. I still want Mazet to explain it. 8 is J. Good job, Naima, but that doesn't count as yours because Mazet already gave that answer. So Naima, you have to do 9, and everyone else has to do 9, 10, 11, 12, or 13. Come on, guys, let's step up to the plate. Number 9 is E. Congratulations, Nisa. You're good for the reading passage. Come on, guys. Everyone else, step up to the plate. You still have 10, 11, 12, and 13. I don't think Tasneem participated. I don't think Mingmar participated. I don't think Farzana participated. Oh, is Pashpita here? Pashpita should be here. Let me double check if Pashpita is here. Pashpita is here, right? Pashpita, can you use the YouTube feature or the Q&A? Yes, Lillian, what's your question? No, why I have to explain? Fine. It's J because 20 to 34, which says less gas, more people. Yes, everyone look at what Mazad said if you didn't get why that 8 was J. Good job, Nisa. Good job, Mazad. Come on, everyone else. Rashpida. Jasneem. Mingmar. What else am I missing? Who else is watching? Let's see. Javid. Ooh, I think Melanie logged in also. And Farzana. Come on, guys. Oh my god, Mingmar. Come on, everyone else. You can use the YouTube feature. You can use the Google Plus feature. I'm refreshing on everything. You can use any feature, guys. I'm looking at all of them. Shavid, I don't know what you typed, but can you please write it in English?
Come on, guys. We can't take all day on this. Come on. People are waiting. People have things to do today. Come on. Yeah, I know that, Tanzine. Melanie? Bushpita, why? Come on, guys. I know you guys are logged in. I know you guys are watching. Well, I don't know if you're watching, actually. I gotta check the later after the stats, but... Guys, come on, Frizana. Come on, guys. Why is 9E? Yeah, the retailer is the individual station owner. Wonderful, Mingmar. Hope you enjoyed Long Island. Guys, everyone else, come on, step up to the plate. Now I can see who's watching and who's not. Come on, guys. Come on, winner of all day. Come on, guys, come on. Come on. Yeah, it says involves the distributor. If you take a look, let me see. Yeah, if you take a look over here, the price of gas is set by the retailer. It is set by the retailer, but the price they charge depends on a number of factors, which is this, all of that. Paid back to the distributor, everyone sees it. Ten is, well, G is, kind of talked about, but there's a better answer. Right? It's too specific. Too specific. 10G is too specific. Just speak, guys. Come on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Looks like I waited for too long, and we are stuck here too long. Let's see. I'm going to refresh all my feeds. Nope. Nope. And nope. Okay. So I'm going to mark Tasneem. Tasneem. Okay, Tasneem is out. Melanie's in Forest. I can't really blame her for that. Who else didn't reply? Pashpina. Well, she's at home. That's fine. Frizana didn't reply. Frizana. Okay, cross that out. 10 is H. Name of that is correct. Okay. Alright, those of you who are here, let's team up to do 11, 12, and 13. I don't think Tasneem is here. I don't think Farzan is here. Tasneem and Farzan are not here. $10H, yes, Alone. I said $10H already. Tasneem and Farzan are not here. Oh, Javid, you said something in some weird language. Can you please fix it? Javid, I know you're here, but you kind of have to answer a question. Come on, guys, it's getting boring. Come on. Right, guys, we can do better than this, right? Come on. $11 is kind of difficult, but the thing with 11 is that if you look at paragraph 3, right? The thing with 11 is that if you look at paragraph 3, like the answer choices are stated there, but there's a confused concepts, so it's like not correctly stated. 11 is a paragraph 3. That's right. Yes, lines 34 to 36. That is 11 is H. There is no H. Naima, there is no H. I think you're talking about 12. Good job, though. How about 13, guys? 13, let's do it. Oh, 11 is A. Okay. Explain why 10 is H. Explain why 10 is H. What is the passage chiefly about? Okay, so this is the main idea question, right? This is the main idea question, right? Just take a look at all the answer choices. Look at choice F, the way of falling bodies. Yeah, it does talk about falling bodies here, but it doesn't talk about falling bodies anywhere else, right? So that's why, you can cross off F. And then how about G? Well, gravity from ancient times to now. Well, yeah, it does talk about the law of gravity, and it does talk about how, it's kind of changed, but that's not talked about, throughout the entire passage. It's not talked about really here. That's what G is off. Aristotle's contribution to understanding gravity. Yes, that's what the passage really focused on, right? Name, we did that already. Yeah, I know we did that already. 12H. Well, a lot of people contributed, but I just completely. Yeah, so that's why it's H, because the passage really focused on, the passage really focused on that contribution, right? The fact that Aristotle contributed. And K, that's too general. 13 is B. Let's move on, guys. Does everyone understand the reading comprehension? Can we move on? All right, guys. My tablet is at 8%, right? My tablet is at 8%. I'm just going to warn you. All right, tablet's at 8%. Okay. Let's move on to the math. Okay. Well, let's see what we have here, right? 0.05x is equal to 1. What's that? We're done. Yeah, we're done. Congrats, guys. Congrats. Come on. So 0.05x is equal to 1.5. Then go here, right? If you do it that way, so you can go to take this 2 to the right, so that becomes 5x. You take this to the right, that becomes 150 divided by 5. Divided by 5. X is equal to 30. 2x equals 60. Now, obviously, there's a lot of ways you could do this, right? You could multiply 0.05x by 2, and then you'd get like 0.1x is equal to 3. And then you can take that 1 to the right and 1 to the right. So 1x is equal to 30, and then 2x equals 60. There's a lot of ways you could do it. Wow, sudden drop? What sudden drop? And we have an hour and 47 minutes left. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. Oh, we have an hour and 47 minutes. Yeah, we're definitely going to end early because my tablet's at 7% now, right? So we're going to end a little bit early and catch up tomorrow. 15. The volume of a rectangular solid whose length is 15 inches, height is 10 inches, and width is 5 inches is what? Okay, well, we have a rectangle solid. Well, how do you find volume of a rectangular solid? Well, length times width times height, right? Length is 15, width is 5, height is 10, right? So 15 times 10 is 150. 150 times 5 is, well, it's going to end in 50. So you're that looking at 15 is going to be E, right? It can't be 800. 175% of 80. Well, we know that 100% of 80 is 80, right? Total, right? 75% of 80, well, that's pretty much 3/4 of 80. And if we do 3/4 of 80, 4 into 80 is 20. 20 times 3 is just going to be 60. So 75% of 80 is 60. We can add the 2 to get 175% of 80 is equal to 140. Everyone got that? H. Moving on, number 17. When a to the 5th over 2 is divided by a3 squared, the quotient is, okay, so we have a to the 5th divided by 2. Well, a over 2 is divided by 3a squared. The quotient is what? Well, keep, so a to the 5th over 2, change, and flip that. So that's 1 over 3a squared. So that becomes a to the 5th over 6a squared, right? 3 times 2 is 6. Now, a squared divided by a to the 5th is just a cubed. You know that from the a to the m over a to the n law. That's just a to the m minus n. So that's just going to be a cubed on top over 6. Which is d. Got it, guys? Got it? Let's keep moving. Alright, because my tally battery is dwindling. Alright, number 18. If X gallons of paint cost $8, so we know where's the cost of in dollars of 1.5 gallons of paint. It says 19 viewers are watching. Well, some people are watching double and that kind of thing. And obviously it's a public event, so people that aren't RQM students can watch it also. So, you know, that's that. Okay. Cool. That's nice. I want people to watch it, right? I think that, you know, these are books and that, you know, these books should be gone over and they're pretty essential towards SAT prep. And, you know, I don't see why there's a reason for charging something that, I might be going over it, but the real hard work was the companies that actually had to make the books. Oh, Naeem, try and increase your volume. Okay, I can increase my volume. Do you guys want my volume to increase? I can increase my volume. All right, is that better? Is that better? That's better? Alright. Is it better, guys? Is it better? Volume-wise? Let me see if I can fix it a little bit better for you guys. Okay, I tried to increase my volume to as high as possible. Obviously, I can increase it a little bit better. Okay, so let's try to continue. Now, number 18. Good job. It's the same. Okay, it's the same. Well, there's a couple things I could do. I'll try to fix that for tomorrow if you guys think my volume is a problem. Personally, I think it's really loud. But obviously this microphone is, pretty good, so. How about now? Is it better now, guys? How about now? Better? Better? Now? Better? Better? Better. Come on, guys. Alright? I think that should be better. I did increase by like 300%. Now? Volume didn't change now? Really? Okay, I can try to fix that, but I really think that the volume is really high. Right? Because, the volume is really high on my thing. Let's see if I can fix that for tomorrow, but try to increase your speaker volume or something. Maybe your speakers are pretty low. Alright, so let's try to see. If X gallons of paint costs $8, right? Oh my god, it's so high that it's killing my headphones. Okay. If X gallons of paint costs $8, what does it cost in dollars? Oh, lots have been moved. Okay, good. Yep. If X gallons of paint costs $8, where's the cost in dollars of 1.5 gallons? So you know that X gallons equals 8Y. So you want how much 1.5 gallons? So you can divide by X, and you're left with 1 gallon. Good job, Mazed. 1 gallon is equal to 8Y over X, right? Now we want 1.5 gallons, so just multiply by 1.5. And multiply this by 1.5. Horrible. Please turn it down. Ha 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 ha. I can do that for you guys. Alright, guys. This is a good level, I think, right? I think that's a pretty good level. It is pretty loud. It's scratchy. How about now? Is that better, guys? How about now? Is that better? I tried to turn the volume down. Maybe I should turn the gain down or something. I can play with the audio later, just to, I can play with the audio later. Alright. Is that better? Is that better? I think that's pretty good, right? I think I'm gonna use that as a gain. Now how about now? Alright, I'm gonna use that, this, and then I'll just augment that with a little bit of, I don't know, something on the computer. Alright, so you guys will get pretty good audio. There's a vibe to your voice. A vibe. Okay, I don't know what that vibe is, but okay. Maybe my voice is a little bit scratchy after speaking for quite a bit, so that's probably fine. Alright, so I'm gonna multiply by 1.5, right? 1.5 on both sides, so I'm left with 1.5 gallons. Is equal to like 3 over 2 times 8y over x, so 3 over 2 times 8y over x is equal to 24y over 2x, which is 12y over x, which is k. Got it, guys? That is that. Moving on, number 19. 4x equals 10, and 2y equals 4x. Then y equals, well, 2y equals 4x. I can just reply 2y for 4x there. So 2y is equal to 10, divide by 2, and then y is equal to 5. That's it. Moving on. 20, the square root of 6.25 is, well, you have to think of like two numbers that can equal, that when multiplied by each other, can equal 6.25 by multiply itself. So you know that what? 2 times 2 is 4. And 3 squared is 9. And 6.25 is between 4 and 9. So it must be between 4 and 9. And which one's between 4 and 9? 2.5. Javid, I don't know what you're writing, but I don't know. Whatever. 21. We have this, right? So we have x squared over x to the 5th times x to the 12th over x to the 9th. A couple ways you could do this, but you could first see that x squared times x to the 12th is just going to be x to the 14th, right? 2 plus 12 is 14. X to the 5th times x to the 9th is going to be x to the 14th. X to the 14th over x to the 14th is 1. Moving on, 22. It's Javid. Stop it, Javid. Okay, 22. If the area of the base of a circular pool is 300 square yards, what is its radius? Okay, so we know that the area of a base is 300 square yards. Yeah, Javid, I can actually take you out of the room, right? But try to be, cordial. Okay, so we know the area base is 200 square yards. What is its radius? So we know the area base of a circular pool. So circle is 200 square yards. What is its radius? Well, we know that pi r squared must equal to that 300 square yard. We'll just estimate pi is 3 now, so 3r squared is equal to 300 square yard. Divide by 3. Okay. Some sneezing, so divide by 3. We know that r squared is equal to 100. R is equal to 10. Now, if you take a look, yep, hold on, that's right. Now, if you take a look, we divided by 3, but pi is actually like 3.14, right? And if you divide by a larger number, hold on, where am I? Oh no, guys. No. Okay, guys, yeah, you know what happened. So, but if I divided 300 square yards by a larger number, I would get a smaller quotient, right? I'd get something that's smaller than 100. So the radius would be smaller than 10. So that's why 22 is going to be F. Everyone got that? Thank you. Guys, I'm really sorry, but we have to end the session very early today. We are going to catch up tomorrow, I promise. We only have like 4 more questions left in the math, right? And you guys should, continue working on the book and finish as much as possible today so we can have a little more productive lesson tomorrow. We are going to have to finish now or, very soon to now because my tablet did just die, right? That's why I'm not doing any more writing. I could write with my pointer, but I don't know if you guys can read that. Okay, guys, so I do apologize for that, right? So my tablet did just die, right? So my tablet did just die, and quite frankly, I can't charge it now because the wire for charging is at the center, right? So we are going to continue this tomorrow, and we should be able to finish by the end of Wednesday, right? I will see you guys tomorrow promptly at 11, right? And it should work out a little bit better, right? And we are ending it now. Yes, alone we are ending. I noticed now that only me, Tifu, are active and the rest are not. Yes, I did notice that too. And Javed, but Javed's being whatever. But okay, yeah. Everyone got that? We are ending now. I do apologize for ending early. Yeah, I do apologize for ending early. But we are gonna have to end. Right? My tablet is out of battery. Got it, guys? We are gonna end early. We are gonna pick up where we left off tomorrow, so don't worry. Be there sharply at 11. I'll see you guys then, okay? Have a good one. Alright, make sure to work on it today. Got it? Have a good one, guys. Feel free to email me at naeem@rqmtutorial.com or use the chat feature if you have any questions. Got it? I'm just gonna write that in there with my mouse pointer. Got it, guys? Got it? Alright, guys. We'll see you then. Have a good one. I'm ending it now.